Hey there guys, so it's time to review the latest Power Rangers crossover event, the Dinosaur Team Up, which is loosely based on the mini-film Team Up storyline in Super Sentai. Sujin Sentai Kuroja vs. Go Busters, the Great Dinosaur Battle, farewell our eternal friends. Now the Great Dinosaur Battle came about 6 or 7 years ago, I believe. I've not watched this properly, that's because I've not watched Kuroja yet, but I have watched Go Busters and I really like that. But from what I've heard, the Go Buster Rangers themselves are like pushed aside towards the end and the main focus are towards the Dinosaur Rangers. This was your typical annual crossover event. It was Go Busters and Kuroja, but in Power Rangers it was a little bit more complicated because originally we skipped Go Busters for Kuroja to make Dino Charge, and then we skipped Tokuja for Ninja to make Ninja Steel, but then Hasbro brought the rights and go back to Go Busters and make Beast Morphers, and then we could do this crossover event without any kind of obstacles in the way because there's a lot of Sentai footage that uses the Go Busters suits. So the Dinosaur Team Up was split into 3 parts, but it wasn't like part 1, part 2, part 3. They all kind of had their own individual stories. So the first part, which was Finders Keeper, was the reintroduction of the Dino Charge Rangers and the Dino Charge villains. The second part was Making Bad, which was the resurrection of Goldar. And then you had the third part, Grid Connection, which was kind of the Great Dinosaur Battle with the Mighty Morphin Rangers, with Jason back, the Dino Thunder Rangers and the Dino Charge Rangers. And I'm just going to give my thoughts to each individual episode, then I'll give my overall thoughts of the main event itself. So Finders Keepers, which was a pretty good episode. It was a nice reintroduction to the Dino Charge Rangers, which we missed because Dino Charge is like, it's not one of my favourite seasons, but it was a really good series at the time, and it still is. But Finders Keepers takes place from the previous episodes where the Rangers destroy Ryjack, who was kind of like this alien collector collecting weapons from the previous villains from Power Rangers, who also has like an army of putties, Fivics, and Triptoids, but he also has this replicator, but Evox have it now. This replicator is able to resurrect villains just based on their weapons. So the Rangers are kind of trying to find his ship that has all these like villains' weapons, and so he finds it, but she alerts the other Rangers, and the Rangers tell her wait for backup arrives, but she's like, no, I got this. And as soon as she puts one foot on the ship, it self-destructs. While she's unconscious, Blazing Roxy comes, they find the Sword of Snide, they resurrect him, and while the other Rangers come, but Zoe did find Keeper, but she did not recognize him, and she kind of jumps the shark and just throws the Commander color on him, and it's so funny that the other Ranger straight away recognizes him. I know that's Keeper, we know him from Ranger history, and and throughout the episode, all the Rangers, including the Dino Charge Rangers, are just slagging her off and like, why did you do that? Why did you do that to Keeper? Why did you not wait till backup arrives? And it was kind of unfair because she's kind of like the only girl Ranger in this episode. And it's kind of like all the guys are just slagging her off. But, so, I can't remember. So Keeper gets kidnapped, so they all got to chase after him while the other Rangers kind of collecting all the weapons up, and it's so cool seeing like Lord Zed's staff. That was pretty good. But the Dino Charge Rangers come in, which was only 4 out of 6 so far, which was Taylor, Chase, Coda, and Ivan. They come to help. There isn't like, hey, nice to meet you. Where's Keeper? Where's Keeper? It was kind of like, there wasn't really much like interaction or any chemistry. They kind of like jump in, where's Keeper? We don't care about you other Rangers, we're here to help Keeper. Still, it was a solid team up episode. I mean, it was nice to see the Dino Charge Rangers again, and it was great how they brought back all the Dino Charge villains, because I was just expecting Snide, since they only needed Snide. But they brought back Poisanja, Fury, Master Sledge, and it was so cool seeing Sledge again, because Sledge is like one of my favourite villains. He's not like the most evil or most powerful, but he's just so entertaining. When he wakes up, it's a bomb, and they come to help Snide because Evox is kind of like, oh, he's pathetic. He's way out of his league, and that was pretty cool. So the least interesting thing about this episode was the Megazord battle, which was kind of just used footage, but the way they incorporated the Sentai footage was a really great job, especially in the warehouse with the Dino Charge Rangers, and when they have Shelby and Riley to come in and help, and they're already morphed because they're not there in person because they couldn't get the actors. I'm guessing because I don't know why. I don't know the whole story about it, but from what I've heard, it was just used audio from the Dino Charge series, so it wasn't like dubbed from other actors, which was solid. But which was weird about this was Keeper, because at the warehouse he was just hiding. He was kind of like in the corner, really in like a weird stalking way, which was kind of creepy but funny to watch. But the Rangers, at the end when the Rangers finally have Keeper, the Dino Charge Rangers are kind of like, we're heading back to Earth. We're heading back to our dimension. We finally have Keeper. You guys can deal with our villains. We dealt with them before for like 2 seasons, so it's your turn while you deal with your own villains as well. So which was kind of like selfish, because it's like they're kind of like, hey, we dealt with these villains. You guys can deal with them. They're not our problem. They're not our dimension. We got a museum to run, which is kind of like, why did they do that? But overall, Finders Keepers was kind of an episode I wasn't expecting. It definitely had some really great moments and definitely some really good Easter eggs that really made me pumped up for the next episode, which I thought was going to be the main event. But there was another episode which was called Making Bad, which was kind of like the resurrection of Goldar. Making Bad, which is kind of a Breaking Bad pun, which was a clip show to the series, which was a really interesting clip show, but it also had another story about the Rangers trying to track down the villains that are like robbing the jewelry stores, because it kind of plays important parts to the Replicator, because the Replicator, if it has all these diamonds, it could clone a villain but to the maximum form, like we see with Goldar. So this clip show was a really interesting clip show, because for the past like 10 years, I really don't like the clip shows from the other Power Ranger seasons, but this one kind of played an important part to the event. I mean, the villains are kind of choosing what villain to resurrect, and they go through like the database, and we get to see clips from the older Power Ranger seasons like Mighty Morphin and Zeo and Mystic Force and In Space and Lost Galaxy, which was kind of cool. These are like seasons I grew up on. These are great seasons. So the villains are kind of like choosing what villain should we bring back, and they're kind of choosing like Korag and Astronomer, but the problem is they turn good, they turn into Rangers, so that's kind of a problem. Then they thought, let's bring back Lord Zed, the most powerful villain, the Emperor of Evil. The problem is he'll eventually just turn on Evox like he did with King Mondo. And then it was like, let's bring back Psycho Red. The problem is he is so obsessed, he was way out of his league to destroy the Red Ranger, that he'll lose focus on the other Rangers, so he'll be overwhelmed. Which was, okay, it was nice choices, but it was so cool just seeing some of the weapons, especially the data card. So I was kind of in my head with the whole data card from Psycho Red, because technically in the what was it, the 10th Power, Psycho Red was technically destroyed. So I'm guessing the data card is kind of a backup copy, I'm saying. But it was cool to see all these villains back, and they're all kind of choosing and stuff, and but then Evox made the perfect choice. We'll bring back Goldar. I'm on board to bring back Goldar. I mean, he's one of my favourite generals, but you could argument say there is problems to bring back Goldar. I mean, if you watch the original Mighty Morphin, in Series 3 he was kind of pushed aside when Rita Revolta came, and in Zeo he was kind of Bulk and Skull's pet. Argument's sake, if I was there, I would have said to Evox, did you consider Chikina, Fengix, Mexico? There are much better villains to choose from. It was good to see Goldar again, but it wasn't the Goldar we all know and love, and it's not because the whole new design, which was, I really liked the new design, by the way. It was the fact that it was a different voice actor. It wasn't Kerrigan Mahon, who was the original voice to Goldar, and I didn't understand why they couldn't have brought him back, because they didn't have to bring him all the way to New Zealand. Just use his voice or use the audio from Mighty Morphin. That would have been great. But it was still cool to see him because straight away Sledge is just insulting him and he's like kicking his ass and he destroys him straight away. And the way at the end, like Goldar and Evox are just laughing together, they are straight away like best buddies. He's like his new favourite. I swear, like Evox has a crush on Goldar now. Overall, Making Bad was a solid clip show episode. Normally I hate clip shows and Power Rangers because I find it very lazy. The only ones I really like is the one from Lost Galaxy and FSBD, but this one played a purpose in this dinosaur crossover event, and it was kind of cool going back to all these seasons that came before to try and reintroduce to the new fans of Power Rangers. The only problem I would say is the fact that everyone would agree with me was the overdub from different actors. It wasn't really like the original voice actors, and some of them were really bad, like Andros, like, "Crone, you're my sister." Oh, that was just cringe. And I'm guessing because it was this whole union thing, they would have to pay the original actors for their voice, even though it's reused footage from like 20 years before. So I kind of let that slide. Unfortunately, they didn't use Lord Zed, which was a shame because the original voice actor to Lord Zed passed away, Robert Alexford, which was a shame because I think it would have been a nice tribute to go back and like, oh, Lord Zed was a great villain, but that didn't work for me, so I was kind of gutted. But overall, it was a nice reintroduction, the resurrection of Goldar, so it was solid. So the third and final episode, which was called Grid Connection, which featured Jason returning and the Great Dinosaur Ranger battle, it had some cool moments, but it also had some missed opportunities and some flaws. And to me, seeing Devon, he is so selfish at the beginning of the episode. He's kind of like, he doesn't believe Keeper, he thinks he's deluded, and he goes to this whole video game tournament, which I really didn't like. But also you have this like meteor almost hitting Devon, and this whole substance to the meteor allows Devon to go into like the morphing grid to call for help from other Rangers, which I kind of didn't understand. But the other Rangers go to the whole Dino Charge dimension because the Dino Charge Rangers are in trouble because they have Snide, they have Goldar Maximus now, which I like it. I like the title, but seeing Goldar Maximus kicking the Rangers' ass was just so satisfying to watch. But we also have the return of Jason, and he's only in it for like small doses. I mean, he kind of leads the Rangers into battle, but we didn't really know what he's doing like before, like during his offense. I mean, the last time we saw Jason was like Forever Red, and that was like 18 years ago. So I would have liked to know what he's doing now. Is he married? Is he with Emily? Is he running his own dojo? What is he doing now? Which was a shame. But I didn't understand the power coin comes out of nowhere and Devon has it, but he gives it to Jason, but Jason uses it to, I don't know, call the other Rangers. I didn't understand the whole power coin. It wasn't really explained well with that idea. And the whole when they go into battle and like Jason's like, you call that an army? This is an army. And it was kind of like a whole poor man's version of the battle in Endgame when you have like two portals opening. You have like the Mighty Morphin Rangers and you have the Dino Thunder Rangers. And unfortunately the actors aren't there. I'm guessing Hasbro didn't bother calling them because they would have said no, or maybe they only just wanted Jason back, which was a shame because they should have at least tried to call one of the Dino Thunder Rangers. But the whole Grid Connection battle really relied and bounded towards the Sentai footage, which was fine. I mean, that was fine. Okay, I let that slide, but the fact is they could have used other footage from the whole dinosaur great battle. I mean, you could have used some of the sword battles, seeing like the Tyrannosaurus fighting the whole minions would have been so cool, but we only go straight into the whole Megazord battle. And seeing the Megazords back, like the original Megazord and the Dino Thunder Megazord, I didn't get that because the Dino Thunder Megazord was destroyed, and the original Megazord wasn't really destroyed. It was kind of like what was it? It was recycled into the Thunderzords, which was the Thunder Megazord, but the Thunder Megazord was destroyed at the beginning of Series 3. So they never explained how they came back. Were they rebuilt? Were they like only came for that part? I'm guessing with the powers kind of with the whole every powers are kind of fixed now. I guess in the Megazords kind of rebuilt themselves. I didn't understand, but also the swords themselves turn into the Megazords without the individual swords. That's more of a Sentai problem than the actual Power Ranger problem, because at the end of the day they're only using the Sentai footage. But I will give them credit because they actually did use the original cockpits from the original Power Rangers series, which was the original Sentai series. In the Sentai crossover event, it was just the Rangers in this kind of like white blur, which I kind of didn't like. With this, I let it slide, it actually worked, but they could have used a lot more footage, like the whole Mighty Morphin Rangers kicking Goldos Maximus' ass. But yeah, and the the whole Beast Morphin Rangers are kind of doing their own thing. They're kind of like chasing down Master Evox. But yeah, because in the Great Dinosaur Battle, the Go Buster Rangers are pushed aside. But so Evox has this new sword called the Chimera Sword, which is kind of used on dinosaur DNA. It's kind of like, and he uses the Rangers Energens, and also uses Keeper Staff, and which was cool, but unfortunately it was kind of a missed opportunity again, because I think the fact that it was really rushed and they could have used a lot more footage. I mean, this thing should have been at least another 10 minutes long. I mean, in that way we would have got more of the whole battle from the Sentai footage, and we would have liked to see more of the interaction of the chemistry with Jason and the Dino Charge Rangers and the Beast Morpher Rangers, seeing what Jason has come, and what is the whole thing with the whole power coin coming out of nowhere to Devon. But there's this one cool moment with like Jason sees the Chimera Sword and he's like, whoa, I thought Surfer Terror was bad enough, but that thing's got 6 heads. That was pretty cool. But I will say there are some cool moments with Jason when he's like, he leads the team, you call that an army, this is an army. And he's like, Rangers together, defending forever. And he's like, today, tomorrow, decades from now, there are always going to be Rangers like you, fighting for what's right. So that was cool. So overall, I mean, Grid Connection, like I said, was kind of average. It had some cool moments, but it had so many missed opportunities and some plot holes. But it had some great setup though, like with Making Bad and what is it called? Finders Keepers. So overall, this main story was good to see the Dinosaur Rangers again. I wish we could have got to see more of the Dino Thunder Rangers, but they were dubbed over with passable voice acting. So overall, if I had to give my other thoughts to the whole dinosaur crossover, it was fine. It was pretty solid. It's not up there with, like, I don't know, Once a Ranger or Forever Red or Reinforcements of the Future or like Dimensions in Danger. But it's not as bad as like Legendary Battle or the Clash of the Red Rangers. It was great to see some of the Dino Charge Rangers again. It was great to see some of the aspects from different seasons. It was great to see Goldar Maximus, even though it wasn't the Goldar we all know and love, but it was still it kind of redeemed Goldar. It kind of reminded me of the Goldar we all know and love from the earlier seasons of Mighty Morphin. It was great to see Jason again. I mean, I think it was great to see Jason. I wish we got to see more of Jason. I wish we got to kind of see his backstory, but hopefully we'll probably get a comic someday based on that, like we did with Tommy. So overall, it was good. It was good enough. It wasn't great, but it was good to see Jason. It was good. Like, that's how much I can say. I mean, they pulled off it's pretty good, but they didn't go all their way to go crazy with it. So, yeah, I liked it. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Go like, share and subscribe. Just before you ask, yes, this video isn't scripted. That's why I made so many mistakes on this video. But go check out my Facebook, my Twitter and my Instagram page. You guys are awesome. I've got your back.